nobody in this league who gets a worse call than Steph Curry every single time I look up.
The NBA once enforced what became known as the Jordan Rules. But today, there's a modern equivalent we might call the Steph Rules. Steph Curry stands as the only superstar defended like this, with multiple defenders making contact and physically holding on to him. Then, as he attempts to break free, his primary defender wraps both arms around him in a literal bear hug. Watch any Warriors game carefully and you'll witness this happening repeatedly. Even at the NBA senior citizen age of 37 night after night, Curry endures face guarding, top blocking, grabbing, and rerouting off the ball in ways that would trigger automatic fouls for virtually any other superstar. And the league, for the most part, permits it to continue.
Referees just kind of let it slide, right? The grabbing, the holding, jumping under him when he shoot. Like, people do whatever they can.
So why does the league allow this treatment of a top 5 or top 7 all-time great? Does it stem from Curry's playing style or personality? Is it somehow connected to Jordan? Well, let's investigate. Back in the late 1980s, the Pistons engineered the Jordan Rules, a defensive blueprint centered on physically punishing Michael Jordan every time he drove toward the paint. The strategy was straightforward. If you can't stop him legally, attack him physically. And while today's league isn't as brutally physical as that era, what Steph faces at 37 bears striking similarities. One key distinction exists. Jordan's physicality happened on the ball, whereas Curry's occurs before he ever receives it. This distinction matters significantly because Curry's rate of being fouled away from the play is absolutely staggering.
Steph Curry's rate of being fouled off the ball is mind-numbingly ridiculous.
You see, this isn't about drives where contact interpretation can be debatable. It's about defenders wrapping, holding, and redirecting him as he navigates through screens. Sometimes referees might not have clear sight lines, but other times they witness it plainly and simply choose not to call it. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr has repeatedly characterized how Curry gets defended as unprecedented in today's league, particularly the top blocking and face guarding that produces constant grabbing away from the basket. According to him, these should be automatic fouls, yet they're routinely ignored. The NBA has championed freedom of movement rules over recent years, specifically designed to eliminate holding and clutching on the perimeter. And yet, Steph Curry gets harassed and still receives no whistles at 37. Now, unlike most superstars, Curry's dominance doesn't originate from isolation. It begins with movement. Although Curry isn't the fastest player in the league, defenders can't avoid grabbing him because they're consistently late. And they're late because if he creates even the slightest separation, the possession is essentially finished. Draymond Green explained it in the clearest possible terms.
There's stuff just as much off the ball, if not more, than they do on him.
You see, most superstars generate fear when they isolate with space. Curry generates it while sprinting through traffic without the basketball. His uniqueness stems from gravity that isn't triggered by dribbles, but by pure movement. For nearly a decade, tracking data has confirmed that Curry covers close to 2.5 miles per game. Even at 37, he continues relocating, cutting, circling, and rescreening at a volume that forces defenders into perpetual decision-making. Guarding him isn't a single assignment. It's an exhausting, continuous responsibility. So when fatigue inevitably sets in, defenders resort to the easiest solution. Hold him.
All he needs is a half an inch to get the shot off, and it's a great look. So they just grab and hold him. And he just keep moving, and they just grab him and hold him.
Everyone understands that if Curry creates half a step of space, the shot launches and it converts into 3 points. So rather than surrendering space, defenders surrender legality. What happens is the league's most lethal off-ball threat gets treated as if he's already in scoring position before ever touching the basketball. Defenders recognize that attempting to play him cleanly means spending the entire night chasing him through screens and watching shots splash through the net. So they calculate, hold early, bump frequently, and trust the whistle will remain silent. And too often it does, but it violates the rules to do this. So why do referees ignore it? Well, one reason is this isn't merely about missed free throws. It's about how whistles fundamentally reshape defensive behavior. When a scorer consistently reaches the line, defenders adapt, and ultimately this transforms the game's geometry. We've witnessed this with SGA. When teams face Oklahoma City attempting to avoid foul trouble, they provide him substantial space. Now, can you imagine that happening with Steph? Some people desperately want to witness that.
I want him to average 10 free throws a game just because he does get fouled a lot.
Already, Curry has ascended the all-time scoring ladder with one of the lowest free throw rates among high-usage elite scorers. He crossed 25,000 career points with fewer free throw attempts than virtually anyone in that tier. Curry has battled relentlessly to prove he deserves recognition among the best. But why does it consistently feel like the league deliberately makes it harder? For Draymond Green, he believes Curry gets penalized by the league for being excessively accommodating. On his podcast, he stated, and I quote, "I think Steph also gets punished for two things. One is you don't talk to the referees, right? So they know they're not going to get cussed out. They say, nah, he ain't going to say much. He may say something every now and then, but he don't say anything. And I think that actually he gets penalized for that. That insight exposes something uncomfortable about contemporary officiating culture. Players who pressure officials, who sell contact, who exaggerate impact frequently shape perception, which means the marginal calls, the borderline grabs, the subtle off-ball holds accumulate without consequence. There's also a massive statistical dimension here. Curry's true shooting percentage already ranks among the most efficient in league history. Now, if you increase his free throw volume even moderately, that efficiency climbs even higher. If defenders face stricter boundaries guarding him, his off-ball routes become exponentially more devastating. Analysts have projected that with whistles comparable to other MVP caliber guards, he could hover near the high 30s in points per game, even at 37. So this isn't merely about fairness, it's about historical context. And believe me when I say there's substantial ground to cover here. You see, throughout NBA history, we've been taught to understand that drawing fouls represents genuine skill, and the greatest players mastered it.
Reiterate still, because at the end of the day, drawing fouls is a part of the game. It's actually a skill. It's actually a skill.
And historically, superstars have consistently manipulated angles, timing, and defender positioning to manufacture contact. Draymond Green articulated it bluntly.
We reward flopping and flailing in this league, and Steph does neither.
There's undeniably a difference between absorbing contact and selling it. Curry absorbs it. He rarely exaggerates it. He doesn't waste possessions lobbying officials. And this is where comparisons to Michael Jordan frequently surface in the conversation. For critics like Charles Barkley, he consistently downplays Curry's greatness because he believes Steph's too fragile and couldn't withstand the physical punishment Jordan endured.
Think about this, Dan. Let's be realistic. You know how much I love Steph Curry, correct?
Yeah.
You think he could take that beating that Michael got against the Bad Boys Pistons? Come on, Dan. Please stop it. I mean, the game was just so much more physical.
That narrative has become conventional wisdom, but the context matters profoundly. While Jordan's era permitted overt physicality, he simultaneously benefited from superstar whistles as his career advanced. Indeed, periods existed in MJ's career where defenders could barely approach him without triggering a whistle.
Stop this, yo. I mean, don't you remember the one where the Olympics one, where I think it was Magic, and they're taking that picture of the Olympics, and Magic's like, oh, can't get too close to Mike.
Meanwhile, even at 37, Curry continues absorbing fouls. But they'll still argue he couldn't compete against the bad boy Pistons. In fact, the irony is that Curry's harassment occurs in what's supposedly a freedom of movement era. And this is where everything becomes suspicious. You see, the NBA's commercial partnerships align deeply with Nike. Curry obviously isn't a Nike athlete. So could that possibly influence Curry not receiving calls? Because honestly, if he received the whistles Jordan got as a superstar or the calls SGA receives currently, who knows how many additional points he might have accumulated? Who knows how many more championships? Is this systematic suppression of his greatness? Well, I suppose we'll never know definitively. Steph Curry gets defended this way because conventional defense simply isn't sufficient. But beyond that, perhaps there's something profoundly revealing in the fact that he's achieved extraordinary success while being grabbed and harassed constantly by defenders. So what does it reveal? Steph Curry isn't merely the greatest shooter the NBA has ever witnessed. He's the only superstar ever whose dominance begins even while he's off the ball. If you disagree with that assessment, let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more NBA stories, click the next video on your screen.